back in the good old days when people didn't care about this woke crap like gender and they were just normal gender fluid and not this straight vanilla ass motherfuckers. And today we are going to learn about gender fluid artist
Claude Cahin.
that was born in 1894 as someone named Schwab. And I honestly don't blame them because the fuck is Schwab? And they describe themselves as truly gender fluid, referring to themselves as she in her writings, but as him when spoken to or presenting works, masculine, feminine. It depends on the situation. So shut the fuck up. I'm gonna be using both. And they even shaved their head in 1920s to be truly gender fluid. So she was known for photography, writing, sculpture, collage, and theater, and worked as surrealist. Lots of his photography work, for example, consisted of autoportraits, and I especially like these heads in jars, which is like one man, one jar before the internet, I guess. This one, I'm in a training, don't kiss me. I just fucking adore this one. Cloak and masks, pretty mysterious. I extended my arms. This is such a great conceptual piece, like just come on, look at this. Also, double exposures like these. Like, what do you want from me? And one is like, oh my god, I am so fucking full right now. And the other one, just eat one tiny little cookie. Nothing will happen, just eat a cookie. You want to see how gender fluid Claude really was? Check these two out. Young portrait as a girl, 1914, and an auto portrait with like some sort of a ball from 1924, only a decade, bam, two different people. And I totally get that, like, why be looking the same all your life? It don't make sense, doesn't it? Or this kick-ass one with the Nazi badge in between her teeth. This shit on Facebook, bitches. Cause yeah, Claude was kicking Nazis' asses in the World War II, which for even got the Medal of French Gratitude for acts of resistance in the Second World War. But I'm gonna be talking about that a little bit later. So she and her partner both got gender neutral names and were technically step siblings because 8 years into the relationship, Claude's father married her partner's mother, which I just included because I was researching this and I was like, the fuck? So now you have to know that as well. But check out Claude collages too. Like, imagine doing this in 1928 with like no software at all, only in a dark room. I mean, she got some help from their partner, but still, I bet even with all the software today, you could not do shit like this. And speaking of Claude and software, just if you want to check out their work, just find prints, go to a gallery or some shit. Because when you look for it, especially in Google, you'll have bunch of AI generated images that are generated in the style of Claude's. And like, dude, don't throw silicone hallucinations in between real artworks. Boomers will get confused as fuck. The abstraction, the dream are limitless for me as the concrete and the real. This is one of the purest surrealist shit I've read. And the worst part is, I totally get it. But being in surrealist movement meant some really cool sculptures, like these untitled things in jars, or crystal heads, which is exactly what crystal does to your head. But yeah, it's kind of like creepy cute, I don't know. But in 1936, he also participated in the exhibition of surrealist art in Paris, contributing an essay, Beware of Domestic Objects. Full on leftist, Marxist inflicted text. And oh yeah, did I mention that Claude was a lefty? She even founded the leftist group Contre-Attaque, Union of Communist Writers, Artists, and Workers. The group was quite important because you see, it was made to kick the Nazis' ass. You see, in 1936, both with their partner, they moved from Paris to island of Jersey. And shortly after, the island was occupied by Kanye's friends. So they got to work and distributed leaflets to soldiers that were advocating mutiny. They distributed them to soldiers under shared name, the soldier with no name. Unfortunately, they were caught and sentenced to death. But they didn't die because the liberation came, and the Nazi scums were kicked out of the island, and they lived happy ever after on said island. Whole 9 years after the World War II was over, at age 60, Claude died, leaving huge legacy and some great work behind. Although the legacy was kinda not there yet for like half a century, because you see, when Claude was alive, they participated in some surrealist exhibitions. But after moving to the island of Jersey, she kind of slipped away from public attention. And after his death, most of his work stayed with her partner, Marcel Moreau. But after Marcel died too, most of Claude's work was bought by a collector known as John Wakeham, which may or may not be British conservative politician, which it would be funny though if the conservative politician would be the one that saved gender neutral lefty from 100 years ago, or rather their like heritage or like whole legacy brought up by. That would be funny though, but I'm not so sure about that. So pinch of salt or some shit. But John sold the work to Jersey Heritage Trust in 1995. In the same year, they even managed to held an exhibition in Paris, Claude Cahun Photography, at this museum in Paris, making her artworks bloom again. So now you know who to refer to when your boomer uncle hits you with the "back in the good old days, there were no such thing as changing gender." Because, like, why even care about gender in the first place? Like, literally, dude, some guys are like, oh, I'm not gonna wear it, it's girly. Bitch, most of the female garments started as male garments. Which, first of all, why though? Second of all, why we should care? Because, like, some silhouettes, some people will get in certain, like, types of clothes, makeup, some won't. And gender has nothing to do with this. You're either hot or not. You can be male, female, gender neutral, don't care. If you're ugly ass motherfucker, you're ugly ass motherfucker. I'm sorry, there's nothing you can do about it. And gender norms are just fucking stupid. Cause why the fuck I should pay extra for a razor? Cause it's fucking blue. The fuck? It's a metal blade. Pink and blue razors work the same. And the fuck is with metal smelling crap? Like, why would I wanna wash myself with like fucking 10-in-1 product that doubles as an oil engine and smells like fucking guns, cigarettes, and gasoline? I'm not into that shit. Why I can't smell like fucking flowers? I mean, I do that. I use female products to wash myself, but I think it's just fucking retarded. Like, it washes you. It washes you. Why bother gendering things? And there's so many examples of that. Those are like just the fucking simplest I can came up with. But I think having like strong gender roles fucks up our society. Oh, but we are biological. Shut the fuck up. First of all, people would not stop fucking and would not stop reproducing if everyone was just like bi or whatever. Because some people just want to have kids. It's just fucking wired into our brains. So, no, we wouldn't go extinct if the gay people could hold hands on the street. And gender fluidity, that's just one example from art history. You have plenty of them from history in general. Art history, of course, but history in general. So Claude was alive 100 years ago. They were ahead of their time. Because it's like a gender fluid lefty. Come on, it's like the most 2020s thing ever. But she was doing that in 1920s. way before all of that. And thanks to people like that, we have great movements and we're going towards equality, which is fucking good. And dress whatever you like, be into whatever you like. The fuck is like with gaslighting kids into interests also. I just remember that. Like, I remember for me personally, football is fucking boring. I don't really like sports that much. And the other kids were like, "Oh, you're not a boy because you don't like football." I was like, "The fuck? I pee while standing. The fuck you mean I'm not a boy?" You know, shit like that. And I always wanted to play with fucking dolls. Thankfully, The Sims came out, and I could do that virtually. No one judged me because that was a game. And boys shouldn't be playing with figurines or dolls, which is even worse. They should be playing on a computer instead. And that was somehow fucking better. And I was pushed into being a normal boy so hard that I fucking hate that. I don't want to be normal boy. I don't want to be a boy, really. I don't want to be a man. I don't want to be women. I don't want to be non-binary. I just want to be hairless ape, Homo sapiens, if you're following. Because at the end of the day, we are all humans, all have our own aesthetics, our own desires, our own dreams and shit. And there's these fucking conservatives that ruin shit for everybody for no fucking reason, and they say, like in the good old days. But remember, there was never such a thing as good old days. They just say that crap because they miss when they were young. They miss the strength their body had. Nowadays, they struggle to get up from the fucking chair. That's why that was worse. And if you really, really look in the past, you'll find anything in terms of social behaviors and human behaviors in general in history. You'll find that at all times. So, back in the good old days, people could be gender fluid. No one gave a shit. Which, in that sense, bring back good old days. And don't look into the past too much. Think of how awesome and inclusive future can be.